We are the most educated generation in the human history. Yet, our children are so addicted, so stressed that many of them secretly believe that they are failing at life, even before they have finished school. I am Dr. Yukti Arora, a scientist turned educator. Today, I would like to talk about something deeply personal yet universal. The invisible story sitting inside every child in this world and the responsibility we carry as adults not to waste it. There's an unbroken chain of life that runs through all of you. Think about it for a moment. Every single one of your ancestors across continents, wars, plagues, famines, accidents, and pure randomness could survive long enough to pass on their DNA. Not even a single link in that chain dropped the baton. Not once. You are not an isolated individual. You are the latest chapter to the story that never stopped winning at survival. Let that sink in. Your children are the newest chapter in that story. Yet, they are in the most safest and medically advanced times in the entire history. Our children are so addicted, so stressed, and so distracted generations of all the times. There is something deeply wrong in this picture. Look around you. Our children have all the opportunities and all the facilities served on a platter. You talk about information at hand, you talk about air conditioning, you talk about smartphones, food delivery at a doorstep, instant information, entertainment at a swipe. Yet, emotionally, they are exhausted. Mentally, they are overloaded. And psychologically, they are under a siege of constant stream of notifications, comparisons, and demands. Our parents have lived through Industrial Revolution. We are living through AI revolution. First, it is artificial intelligence. Soon, it is going to be artificial general intelligence. And subsequently, it is going to be artificial superintelligence. We see higher and higher anxiety at younger ages, children outsourcing their work to AI tools, addictions to games, importance of validation, sleep deprivation from late night screens, and children conveying their feelings as they are feeling empty or numb. Our children are not weak. Remember, their brains are the ancient survival machines that is trying to cope up in a world that is changing faster than they could process. So the question is not what is wrong with our children. The question is what is wrong with the systems we are putting them into. There's this line that I love. The Stone Age did not end because we ran out of stones, right? It ended because we invented something better. We did not wait for the last stone to disappear. We outgrew the tools. And today, we believe we are standing at a similar moment when it comes to education. The industrial age schooling will not end because we are running out of classrooms or textbooks. It should end because we have finally gotten the courage to stand up and say, this tool does not fit the brain of my child or the world that they are entering. Think about how most schools still work. Children grouped on the basis of their birth year. They are still sitting in rows. They are listening more, doing less. They're reading the same content in the same way at the same pace. Their worth is merely reduced to marks and ranks. This made sense in an era when we needed people, factory people, clerks, and people who could follow instructions predictably. But now, imagine the world our kids are entering into will only reward agility, adaptability, active collaboration, creativity and innovation, emotional regulation, and deep and critical thinking. Traditional schooling is not going to capture all of this simply because it is designed in one way. The learning is designed in one way. Imagine every child is given the same shoe size and is asked to run a race. Some of them would stumble, some of them would limp, and only a few of them would be comfortable. This is exactly how 14.7 lakh schools in the country are still working. a one-size-fits-all model for 24 crore students, Indian students, as if the spirits of human success is a neat answer on a written exam. We know that just like fingerprints, every child's brain is unique. And a child's brain is not a miniature adult brain. Let me repeat that. A child's brain is not a miniature adult brain. It awaits instructions, it awaits experiences, range of experiences to shape those circuits. And in the era of overstimulation, their brains are more vulnerable to damage than ever. So the bigger question is, what kind of environment is best for my child's unique brain? The science is super clear. No two children learn in the same identical ways. Their brains are wired differently. They have got different strengths, different sensitivities, and different learning rhythms. We need to acknowledge that. Their physical health and emotional profiles are not independent of their learning. It is the foundation of that. I've seen children whose behavior was out and shout, "Help me, I am overwhelmed." And all we heard was, "You are lazy." The precision schooling model was born out of one simple yet radical question. What if a school were designed around each child's unique brain? What if we really asked, how does a child's brain processes information? How does their body supports their brain? How does their brain regulates emotion? How does it regulate stress? And the things go on. At India's first precision school, we start with a deep understanding of every child's cognitive patterns, behavioral patterns, and physical foundations. This helps us design a personalized learning blueprint for each and every child. We do not label children. We help them come out of the labels that the society has imposed onto them. We call it precision schooling. Analyze first, teach later. Talking about how we plan to bring this into the practice. Imagine you going to a doctor who prescribes the same medicine to all the patients, same doses to all the patients, irrespective of their age, gender, prior health condition. Would you accept that? The answer is no, you would not accept that. Yet we do exactly that with learning. We prescribe the same educational dose to each and every brain in a class and then blame the child when it doesn't seem to work. Here are three examples that I would like to quickly elaborate upon that gives you an idea of how we plan to implement precision schooling in a real classroom. Imagine a child whose profile shows slower processing speed but deep thinking potential. In a traditional classroom, the child is labeled as a slow learner. In a precision school, we slow down the delivery, give them space to think, and design their assessments in a way that it rewards depth over speed. Example 2 is where a child's profile shows high sensitivity to noise and chaos. Again, in a traditional school, they are labeled overreactive, moody. In a precision school, we really consider this to be a red flag because we know their nervous system is more finely tuned. We structure their spaces with reduced sensory load. We provide them gentle transition and provide them self-regulation tools. Case 3 is where a child, his profile shows low stamina, poor posture, or chronic fatigue. Again, in a traditional school, they are labeled lazy and not sporty. At a precision school, we design personalized physical foundation programs, keeping in mind their strength, balance, flexibility, breadth, and rhythm. And this is not to make them athletic, mind it. This is to make them, equip their brain and body with the right skills. At a precision school, our experts guide parents about sleeping habits, precision nutrition, digital detoxification, and many more things. This is precision schooling. Not guessing, not judging. Understanding and then designing. India's first precision school is a school which is guided by a world-class advisory board and a global think tank. We have experts who are scientists, who are innovators, who are educators on our boards from different parts of the world. The precision schooling model is recognized by several Nobel laureates. because of its scientific depth and rigor, and the potential it has to change how India wants to educate children. Every space in the school is designed keeping in mind that we have to bring out the best in your child. The Brain Plasticity Lab, it strengthens the brain circuits which are responsible for memory, responsible for their learning capacity and confidence. We have the Center for the Unknown. It's a mini research center, first of its kind in a school, where kids get to explore something which is yet to be discovered with mentorship from premier institutions in India, outside India. We have a sensory garden that brings kids closer to the nature. We have a Montessori lab that nurtures independence and provides them hands-on exploration spaces. We have Persona Studio to unlock communication skills, soft gym, yoga, martial arts that focuses on balance, coordination, strength, fine motor skills and gross motor skills of a child. We continuously ask ourselves, what does this child's brain need to thrive? And how must the school change to meet those needs? The answer is simple. We do not believe at producing children who can score 99.8% marks. We believe in raising young children who can understand themselves, who can regulate their emotions, who can find clarity in chaos, and who can learn for life. Scores matter, but they are not the whole story. So you might ask, why do we need this change now? Why the urgency? Schools have existed since centuries. Because the context is changing faster than our systems. We keep talking about FOMO, the fear of missing out, right? Parents these days have FOMO about coding classes, FOMO about Olympiads, FOMO about new extracurricular activities, FOMO about foreign exchanges, and the list goes on. But the real FOMO should be, what if my child spends 12 of their most sensitive, plastic, formative early years in an environment that never truly understands how their brain works? Because once those years pass, we cannot rewind and rewire with the same ease. So choosing a school or demanding that your existing school aligns with the principles of precision schooling can change a child's entire life trajectory. It can mean the difference between going from I am not good enough to I learn differently and that is my strength. Between I am always behind to I know how to catch up in my own way. When you go home tonight, watch your child not as a student, not as a bundle of homework or marks, but as the latest addition to the lineage that has never given up. The way their eyes light up when they are fascinated, the way their full body fidgets when they are trapped in boredom, and the way their shoulders slump when they feel judged, the way their whole being relaxes when they feel seen. Ask yourself, does their school see what I see? And if the answer is no, then let today be the day when you stand up for them, because precision schooling is not a luxury. It is the minimum respect that you owe to the revolution and evolution that made your children possible. So, I am Yukti Arora. I built India's first precision school with one single goal in head, that there should be at least one corner in the country where no child's brain goes unnoticed. My invitation to you all is simple but urgent. Do not let the unbroken chain end with a generation that survived history but could not survive its own education. Thank you so much for your kind attention.